Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Friday Business Intelligence Tip. Today, we're going to have a short little topic on how to connect Excel pivot tables to Power BI data sets. Now, this is something I did not intend on doing at one point. We were creating Power BI data sets to work inside Power BI and to deploy those analytics and so forth using the Power BI tool. But one of the side benefits we found from this is that users that were very comfortable with Excel pivot tables could also take advantage of them against Power BI data sets. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn off my overlay and jump over to my Excel desktop here. Now, to connect to Power BI data sets is very straightforward. Now, it might change the way you design your Power BI data sets once you see what I'm doing here. But if you do nothing except for go to the data menu, say get data, select from Power BI, and what this will do is it will connect to the Power BI service that's out on the internet, display all of my different data sets that I have available to me, and then allow me to select the ones I want to work with. So for instance, I might want to select from the People Analytics data set of ours, which is a data set that allows us to do headcount and turnover and things like that. So what it's going to do when I select that on the right is it's going to connect to that data set and then display the model over here on the right in the set of pivot table fields. So for example, if I just wanted headcount, what I can do is I can say headcount prior year, headcount previous month, whatever your different headcount measures are that you're looking for. I'll say the prior year one for now. So if I say headcount prior year, the way our model works is you always have to pick a period of time that you're working on. So there'd be a calendar that you'd pick from, but I'm not going to be too concerned with getting the right data here for you. But what you can do is you can select any of the different tables that you have in your model, and all the individual attributes show below that using just standard Excel pivot tables. So for example, here I selected ethnicity groupings that were in there that we have. You can do it by job. You could do it by any of the categories. It's just standard Excel pivot tables. Now, the things that you'll want to keep in mind when you build your model is the labeling that you put on here as far as your business class or your table names. You'll want to be a little bit descriptive and be careful on what you're displaying in your model because they'll show up here in Excel for you. So just make them somewhat descriptive. I know that same rule applies in Power BI itself, but oftentimes what people do is they get a little bit careless on that naming because they know it's just going to be the actual designers in Power BI accessing it. Once you go to Excel, you might expand that audience out a bit. So if you do that, just know that your labeling will come into play there. So be careful on how you label that. So you can see all the different items. And this is just a standard Excel pivot table. Now, how this differentiates from a standard analysis services cube in Excel is the analysis services cubes we deploy at Dashboard Gear are called multidimensional cubes, and they're in a cube format called multidimensional. The Power BI models are using what's called a tabular model. So the formula language you use will be slightly different if you do want to do more advanced pivot table design things. So for instance, if you're coming in here and you want to add formulas and so forth, instead of MDX formulas, which are the multidimensional expressions, you'll be adding DAX formulas that are more the Power BI formula set. So just keep that in mind as you do it. So that's really all that I wanted to show you today is that anyone that has access to the Power BI data sets, they can then go ahead and open those inside Excel as well. So hopefully you found today's session interesting and another use to extend your Power BI models and their functionality. So thanks for joining, and we'll meet with you again in a couple weeks. Next week I will be off, but in a couple weeks we're going to be going through our next session on Power BI. Thanks for joining.